Remember, if you want more detailed information on this restoration, you can go to the links down on the bar right below the video, being the links to the iBoats thread, which it has all the pictures that you could ever want on this restoration, my Facebook page, facebook.com/Frisco Boater, and my website, friscoboater.com. Friscoboater.com has a blog that's usually updated also, just like iBoats.com, but the first place to look is my iBoats.com thread for any updates. And if you want instant updates, make sure you like my Facebook page, because that's where I kind of post my thoughts as I'm doing things. So enjoy the video.
Whoa. Down. Okay. No. Well, it's hitting this carburetor flange.
What flange?
The carburetor thing sticking up is going to bend this thing.
You want some channel locks, see if we can pull it out?
Hold it. Down. Okay, I'm hitting on the top of the carburetor over here with the chain, and it's really pressing up against that thing.
All right, you're going to have to loosen it then at least a couple of links.
Okay.
We don't want to break the carburetor. We are completely free, for the most part.
Go too much higher.
Well, you're gonna get out. You're gonna go push the truck forward.
Okay.
Out from underneath me. Be careful getting down though. Twisted my ankle the other day doing that.
And what's holding and hold that?
Nothing. Me. Keys are in it.
Can you put a chalk or something underneath that thing?
It's not going anywhere. I mean, literally, these things are, it's gonna be hard enough getting it in the, you're good. Yeah. All right, you're clear. All right, so you want to hold on to this and,
Why don't you lower it?
well, I need you to just straighten it because it wants to turn on me.
Which way?
Just right there, just like it is. It wants to turn. Just hold it. No, just don't push. Just hold. There you go. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what we're going to have to do.
There you go.
Look. That's good. All right, let's see if we can get this thing. Well, see, this wants to turn. Let's get it sitting down on the red thing.
Whoa, you're pressing things over there. Because it's shifted so much.
Yeah. Well, we got to get this thing in here now.
Well, hang on a second. Okay.
No, we're going to use the pry bar.
Okay, pry bar. one.
Hold on, I'm gonna do it little by little. Alright, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Slips on the garage floor. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, I'm gonna get over here and I'm gonna push.
1,
2,
2.
go. Okay, where's?
Okay, now just let's do a big push. See if
You
we
grab
grab
the other side. I'm gonna grab this side. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there you go. Now I'm gonna do one wheel at a time.
Say when.
Pull that side.
Okay, you ready?
1, 2, 3. Alright, wants to hang on a second. Alright.
1.
I don't know. 1, 2, 3. Alright, we're up. One, two, three. Come on. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
That's good.
Hey guys, as you can see from that last little clip, the engine is here, and I'm pretty happy about that. We got it, so today's Sunday, and I got it on Friday. Been busy yesterday, had a whole bunch of stuff to do. Dad got moved into his new place, got everything moved in. Now he's got to worry about unpacking. So at least he's settled and kind of in for the time being. He's not here today just because he's got so much stuff to do to get the house unpacked. But I need to get this engine run because I did buy it on eBay, and I have a short amount of time that I have to actually have to review it, check, make sure that it's okay, and then go on from there. So what I have to do today is to run this engine, and I'm going to teach you how you do it and how the easy way to do it, and it's just the way that I do it. So anyway, let's go over here and I'll kind of show you what we got so far in the setup, and we'll go from there. Okay, so this is where she sits. I've got her on the original crate that it came on, and by the way, it came with an outdrive also and a trim pump, which I'll show you here in a second. But anyway, so I've got it on my crate, and I really wasn't impressed with the shipping, the way he did it. He just strapped it down with those straps and didn't even screw it to the crate, so it kind of moved around. No damage or anything like that, but not a huge deal at all. But anyway, the way you do this, and I had to, if you look at where my hose is coming around right here. The hose comes in and attaches to the water inlet. Now this one's a little bit different than my Glastron. The last one I used a little female receptacle, and I was able to screw it in. So what I did is I just stuck the end in here and tightened down the band clamp, turned it on, and made sure that water flowed, because that was kind of, I wanted to make sure we were all good before I go telling you that's the right way to do it. But yeah, it worked fine. Got water coming out of both sets of manifolds. And one thing I got to kind of check, this has a little check valve going back and forth right here. And I need to make sure that it's working fine, because when I turn it on once, a whole lot of water comes out of this side and not a whole lot over here, but then it changes back and forth, and if I kind of wiggle on it or squish right here, a lot of water comes out. So I don't know if that's an issue or not, but we're going to find out here in a minute whenever we turn it on and let it run for a while. I've got my this guy right here. And that is what you should always do. This is a mechanical oil pressure, and it's just basically screwed into the oil pressure sender down here beside the distributor. And what you want to do is you want to turn this engine over, which I'm going to show you in a second, without any electrical to the coil, to make sure that you have oil pressure. And that way you don't go firing off an engine and it's running with no oil pressure at all. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I did that already. I hooked this up, and I made sure that my oil pressure was working fine, and under cranking I got to 50 psi, so I'm pretty happy with that. So anyway, let's get to the connections. This is very, very simple. It's not as hard as my last one. I got a kind of a tip from a guy, made it real easy. You've got your positive cable that runs up to the starter and your negative cable that runs to the block. And all you do is you get you a set of alligator clips. They go from here, and then you're going to put it on the positive side of the coil. All right, and then, this is the redneck way to do it, you take a screwdriver and you short these two terminals right here together, which makes it crank. Fords used to do that on all the time. You can do it on this too. All you're doing is you're bridging between the two solenoids. Yes, you can hook up a button like I did before, but I can't find my other button, so we're just going to go with this route. And it seems to work so far because I was able to bump it off. The oil in this thing is nice and clean. It seems to be okay. Got good oil pressure. So the only thing we got left to do, oh, and also you want to make sure that you run a fuel line into your gas tank and kind of move the gas tank a little bit away from the engine. You know, prime the carburetor, which I've poured a little bit of fuel down in there. Now this carburetor looks like it's going to need to be redone, quite honestly. It looks like kind of a little bit of varnish down in there. I've got another kit for this Quadrajet, so I'll probably just go ahead and rebuild it one cold weekend. It's really not hard. I've done one before, kind of easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up. I'm going to go turn on the water. I'm going to set this up on my truck over there, and we're going to see if this thing fires off and runs. Not expecting it to run really well with the carburetor looking that way, but as long as we got compression, it runs, and it seems okay, I'm happy with it. So anyway, let's do this.
I thought I did something.
No, you didn't.
I was like, oh no, what did I do?
All right, see, we got equal amounts of water coming out. There you go. We got equal amounts of water coming out of the exhaust pipes now. That kind of changed a second ago. It's weird. All right, remember, I've already done the oil pressure test, so we are good for go. And I've primed the carburetor. Not a problem. Alright, sorry, I had the battery cable loose on the engine. didn't like me blowing out that that water or the carburetor at all. Well, battery's gonna die, guys. See you here in a few minutes. Okay, ladies and gents, I think we have a good to go engine. Sorry I had to cut off so early a second ago. You didn't miss a whole lot. All I did was basically run it for another 30-45 minutes, let it get up to temperature. Seems like the thermostat opened well, everything was great. I still have a question about why this little T right here doesn't flow the same amount of water all the time. I need to kind of look that up, and if I need to kind of repair that, I will. But voltage is good, everything's great. I was using my old battery from out of the C-Ray. I just replaced it because that one is very, very weak. I've tried charging and charging in it. You can hear it, it just barely turns the engine over. So we'll be putting a new battery in this boat, but at least that got us where we need to be. I've made the judgment call. The carburetor needs to be rebuilt. I was having a miss. I've also, okay, rewind. When I was running it, I was having a miss while it was running. And I was like, oh gosh, what's going on there? So I started kind of looking around, and you should always pull your spark plugs and look and see, you know, kind of what they tell you. And what all these are telling me, all of them, is that it's running a little lean. It's very, very white on the tip of it. There's not a whole lot of carbon, so I mean there's a couple of ways you can look at it. If you have any questions, just kind of look up on the internet about how to read a spark plug. I've kind of done it for years, but which tells me that the carburetor is not sitting enough fuel at idle whenever it's sitting there. I can actually, when I cut my hand over it, I think you saw it in the video, when I cut my hand over the intake, the engine speeds up, and then when you let it off, it just kind of wants to chop at idle. There's two reasons for that. Is it's just starting for fuel at idle, which you look down on the throat of that carburetor and it kind of looks like it needs a little bit of help, which they do. But anyway, also this, let me see, which number is this? This is the number 2 cylinder. The spark plug wire was actually kind of wore off and falling off. So what it was doing is it was arcing every so often. So what it was doing is it was getting kind of a miss every so often. Once I plugged that back on there, the engine smoothed right back out. So I'm happy with that. So what I've done now is I've checked all the cylinders, read the spark plugs, everything's great. Compression check was perfect all the way across the board. There was not 3 psi between all the cylinders. This is a center bolt head, which means it's 87 or up. I haven't looked into it yet, but I think it's either an 87 to 89. And it may have been rebuilt once before, but with the compression numbers and the oil pressure, it's still a very, very good engine, has lots of life left in it. So with that being said, the only thing we couldn't really test was the alternator, because I don't have a volt gauge. We'll just put that in the boat, and if we don't have any voltage, we'll buy a new alternator. So everything seems to be really good. Until we get it in the boat and really run a test, we may have to spend some money. You know, if the oil pump's bad, not oil pump, water pump's bad or something like that. You know, I'm thinking negatively just because I've been burned so many times other stuff, but this engine really has impressed me so far. So what I've done is I've drained all the water from the block. I'm fixing to put it in storage. I've got a storage unit about a quarter mile down the road that I have a lot of stuff in. I'm going to put this on a small little roll around cradle, and we're going to put it away until the springtime. I'll probably go ahead and take the carburetor off and keep it here just so we can work on it whenever we get a chance. But other than that, it's going to get it out of the way here because we need the work. So let me show you what other stuff came. I've got a trim pump. This is the one that came, like the one that came in the boat. This guy that I got all this from rebuilds these. So what he does is he takes them apart, rebuilds them, fixes them and all that stuff, and then resells them again. I got a great deal on it. I've already checked that it does work both directions. So that is good to go. My other one did not work. And then we have an outdrive. This is what I'm somewhat disappointed about. I'm not going to show you the condition of it. It's actually, I pressure checked it last night and it held pressure perfectly fine, so that's really all that matters, and it spins freely, has new oil pump and everything. However, the outside of it needs major help. Somebody slathered a coat of something over the top of it. I guess it's some type of protective coating or something like that, but it is just gross, and I have got to strip it off. Actually, I scraped a little bit of, it's like they put ablative paint, or I guess that's how you say it, over the outdrive, which is I don't think you're supposed to do that. But there's no corrosion on it I guess it saved it from the corrosion, but it is gross on the outside. So I'm going to take a wire brush and really completely go over it and then repaint the thing. So it'll look brand new, but you can see that the U-joints did not sit in any water, so they are nice and rust free. So they look like they're ready to go. Put some grease on them and be done. But like I said, I ran a pressure test. It's a 150 gear ratio. Enough about that. I have got to load this sucker up in my truck. It has been very, very warm the past 2 weeks. I think this is the 9th of December. And it has been in the 80s, 70s every day. And the cold front just blew through. This is our first major cold front. We are probably going to be close to freezing at dark, and right now it's probably mid 50s, but the wind is blowing like crazy and dropping the temperature real fast. So, and then tomorrow night we're expecting low 20s, high teens out where I am. So this is our first big freeze. I mean, we usually have had a couple of freezes by now, but this has been so far a very, very warm fall and early winter. So anyway, I'm going to load this thing up and see if I can get it over to the storage unit, make sure all the water's out of it, and then we'll go from there. And that's pretty much it for the weekend, guys. I have not done any grinding yet on this boat. You see, it's kind of been a trash collector for my home theater business. We had a really busy week last week, so and the dumpster was full at our shop, so I just threw it here. But my goal is next weekend, now that Dad has moved into his place, we're going to hit this hard next weekend, or if I get a day off during the week, to start grinding this thing. I've already ordered my fiberglass, and then I'll get the resin and other stuff locally. So anyway, that's the update for this weekend. It wasn't a whole lot other than just getting the engine in, and that's a big relief. And now we can really concentrate on putting everything back together with this guy and go from there. So anyway, guys, I will see you when I see you next.